questions?
Yeah, sure.
You
Go
ready?
right ahead.
Okay. All right. So your name is Moses?
Yeah, Moses. Yep.
Okay. Is that just, I have to ask, is that biblical?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, Moses from the Bible. But
Is that why you're,
yeah, my mom said she had a dream and that was gonna be my name when she was pregnant. I don't know how true that is, but that's what she said. So yeah.
Okay.
So Moses. She told me it was either that or Bartholomew. So I'm glad it was Moses.
Oh, both of those are biblical,
Yeah.
but I like Moses. You did
like
a lot.
Moses too. Yeah, I feel like it's a strong name, it's but I just tell everybody call me Mo. But yeah, my name's Moses.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you married? Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Whatever you feel like sharing that's not too personal.
Sure. Yeah, I was born in the Bronx, New York. I pretty much grew up in New York. I lived there till I was about like maybe 12 or 13. I lived in Manhattan for a couple years.
Wow.
Pretty much went through the Catholic school system up until maybe junior high school.
Okay.
Then I moved to New Jersey because I had some relatives that lived here, and they had us come move with them. That was probably when I was about like 13, and I stayed out here all through high school. When I was in high school, I got a job like cooking at a little small restaurant, and that kind of what sparked my the interest in cooking. Also, my mom worked two jobs a lot. So a lot of times I would be the one left to cook dinner for two younger sisters that I have. And that kind of also, sparked my creativity and interest in cooking too. So after high school, I was like, I want to go to cooking school. I think I want to be a chef. I think this is something I could do. And so I went to Johnson & Wales in Providence, Rhode Island. I was there for 4 years, and then I stayed there a year after. I got my bachelor's in food service management, and then from there I actually moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and I was down there for like 3 years.
Okay.
And I went down there to pursue music.
Not too far from me.
Nah, is it close? Yeah.
It's about 2.5 hours away, Atlanta.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, I was down there. I lived down there for about 3 years, down in downtown Atlanta and Marietta area.
Yeah.
I was down there. I was in a music group. I did hip hop music for a long time.
What?
Yeah. Since high school, I used to freestyle in the lunchroom and stuff like that. And then it turned out, to be something that I pursued more when I got to college and things like that. And so, so when I moved down to Atlanta, I was trying to do music, but I was also cooking, and I was there for about probably like 3 years. And then my dad got really sick, and he ended up having cancer. A lot of the guys that I was down there with left, so I was kind of just all by myself. And it was like, well, do I stay down here or do I go back home? So
no, yeah, it's good to have a good support group.
Yeah, so I decided to come back. I came back to Jersey probably like in 2008, and I've been back since. And and just working in kitchens. I work for a food service contractor. Doing private institutions, large bulk cooking, probably like 800 people a day.
Wow.
On the managerial, I cook a lot too, but I do a lot of the managerial logistical stuff. Some days it's boring, some days it's crazy. I mean, it's just you never know. And then with the pandemic, that threw a nice kind of wrench into everything. Masks in the kitchen, boxing everything up, like it made everything real crazy. And then somehow in there I just I just got into fragrances. I used to always get them as a gift and things like that. And then somehow I just kind of started getting bottle after bottle until I got to a point of what the heck I'm gonna do with all these bottles. And that's kind of where the idea of the decanting business came in.
Awesome, man. Well, that is so cool. So I guess the next question I was going to ask you is you're not really, like, so far all the guys I've interviewed so far have been content creators. So you don't have a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, no, I don't have it. I thought about it, but it's not something that I feel like there's so many people doing it that I think I felt I could have slid into the community in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So but you're definitely a frag head, and you are a welcome part of the community.
Yeah.
And so where did how did you get inspired to be into the community? What got you into it? What it was just keep the, what was the first thing? Do you remember?
Yeah, so I remember like I said, I used to get gifted a fragrance, like say every Christmas, my mom or somebody would buy me one. And I really remembered when I first got my Mont Blanc Individual, like when it first came out. And I was like, oh man, this stuff is crazy. So I wore it all the time.
That's what I was going to
used
ask
to get
you.
compliments and stuff like that. So my mom was having a 60th birthday, and I ended up buying a bottle of something that was Mont Blanc. It ended up being Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, just to have something to wear to the event, because I hadn't purchased a bottle of fragrance in a long time. So I got that in, I wore it to the event, and everybody was like, oh, you smell good. What is that? What is that? So that kind of sparked me into digging deeper into the Mont Blanc house. And then from there, it was like, you find that you kind of go down this rabbit hole of like all these guys that make videos and girls that do, and you're like, oh my God, okay, this guy had this list. And I was like taking notes, like, all right, this fragrance, I might like this. And I would just I just started buying blind, like tons of bottles.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I had like maybe like 40 or 50 bottles. And I was like, okay, this is getting a little crazy. I'm never going to wear all of this perfume. So what I started doing was just like giving it to friends. Like I saw that I can get, the empty atomizers and fill them with fragrance. So I would tell my friends, yo, try this out. See if you like this, because I mostly had stuff that was geared for men, because I'm a guy, that's what I was buying. And I was like, yo, my dude, check this out. See how you like this. And then from there, it kind of evolved into like, promoting in the groups and things like that,
Awesome, man. That's really cool. Well, you're a welcome addition to the community.
I appreciate that.
We're really glad to have you. So the same kind of question. I mean, I know you touched on it a little bit. I know you were, just from listening to you, you were cooking for the family, and through the cooking, you kind of grown to like it. But was there one thing that sparked you, where you finally knew, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to be a chef. I want to do this. What was that thing?
Yeah, I think I had some cooking classes and met had some teachers that were really, good at showing me things. But there was one moment in particular I remember. I was probably like towards the end of my senior year, and when I told my guidance counselor that I was interested in culinary arts and wanted to study to be a chef, he actually had a gentleman that graduated from my high school and went to Johnson & Wales, what I ended up going. He came and like talked to me for about half an hour about going to culinary school, about the business, what it entails, late nights, weekends, holidays, long shifts. And he sat down and he took his time. He came in the chef uniform and everything like that. And he sat and talked to me and my guidance counselor about it. And just after talking to him, I was like, I think I could do this. It interests me. I was like, it didn't really, a lot of times when you say you got to work weekends, you got to work holidays, sometimes for people that's a turnoff, but I don't know. I didn't mind it so much. I kind of was, it sounded fun to me. It sounded interesting. It sounded not boring, like sitting behind the desk every day. Not that that's a bad thing, but
no.
I don't know. That wasn't my thing.
I
prefer to be in the kitchen.
I heard people say if you find something you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah. Well, some days it feels like work. I'll tell you that.
I know.
But
I know.
But no, it's
but
true. I have
it's a labor of
fun. Yeah,
labor of love.
It's a labor of love, absolutely. I mean, look, even with the decants, I enjoy doing it. But when you get a bunch of orders in on a weekend and you got to do like 75 decants, it's not always fun. You know what I mean?
No.
So, but
it's a good problem to have.
Good. Yeah, it is a good problem to have. I've been lucky, and it's been kind of slowly growing a little bit. But sometimes it could be tedious, but that's all right. I don't mind it.
Yeah. How long have you been a chef?
Oh, I got my first job cooking. I was probably like 16 or 17, I would say. And I was working through college. I was working in little restaurants, and I worked at Foxwoods casinos in Connecticut for a while cooking. And then let me see, I'd say like over 20 years I've been in the food industry. As far as like on the managerial side, I say probably like 15 years or so. I've been like leading crews, and right now I manage chefs. I interview chefs, and so
That's
yeah,
not always
definitely.
easy. A lot
Huh?
of egos. A lot of egos. That's not easy.
Yes, yeah. Oh, in the business, yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
I tend to be humble. I mean, I know that I have a lot to offer, and as far as my knowledge and my work ethic, but yeah, I mean, you definitely get surrounded by that. But I find that's more the younger guys that are gung ho out of school and got something to prove.
Yeah,
Look,
sure.
I did this. I'm a bad man. I know this and that, and I know this technique, and I know that. I'm about to be 40, so when you're a little bit mature and a little older in that regard, you're kind of like, I don't need to prove anything. I'm just trying to grind. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I got a few years on you. I'm not gonna tell you how many though.
Okay. You look good, man. Let me tell you, I thought you were younger than me. I thought you were in your
No,
30s or something, man.
no, I'm close. I'm closer to the big 50.
Oh, but that's
Uh,
nothing wrong with that.
what's your signature dish? What does everybody clamor for from you?
Yeah, I get that a lot. I'm a fan of things that take a long time to cook, like stews. I'm a fan of braising things. I love to make short ribs. Anything that you can put your time in, low and slow, and give it some love. You know what I mean? Give it some layers. I'm a fan of cooking and serving things like that.
Okay.
A couple guys I know that I've worked with over the years, they call it like the peasant food. The stuff
Mm-hmm.
that chocolate
Hearty.
cuts of meat that you cook down, things like pulled pork and stuff like that.
Mm.
Stuff that you got to put a little time and love into. That's the kind of stuff I like to make.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite dish to eat?
Favorite dish? I'm a big proponent of pizza being a food group. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah. Pizza should be.
when I was growing up, pizza was so good, but I can't find a good one anymore.
Oh well, I'm sure it's hard down in South Carolina. I don't know.
The
What's down.
chains stink. The chains are. I don't do the chains. I don't do the Domino's
Yeah,
pizza.
that's. I
It's
mean, it's
garbage.
not great. It's not homemade. It's frozen.
Garbage. Yeah.
But I'm lucky up here in Jersey. You got some places with
The New York style where you
in New
fold it in
York
half.
style. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
and then like I said, the things like the short ribs, long braises. I'm also a big fan of frosted mini wheat cereal. I could live on that, so keep it simple, man. Keep it simple.
I like to ask chefs, especially ones that have been doing it for a long time, what is their favorite fast food restaurant, their go-to?
Oh, God, lately it's been Taco Bell.
Yeah, I love Taco Bell too. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. It's so bad for you, but it's
It
wonderful.
is. It
yeah,
is.
Yeah.
It's something about it. It's one of the, like, believe it or not, if I try to eat, I don't know what it is. I guess my body's changing, but if I try to eat a burger from Mickey D's or any of the fast food restaurants, I get kind of sick.
Yeah.
I can eat roast beef from Arby's.
Mm-hmm.
I can eat any chicken product, but any burger product from fast food makes me sick.
Yeah.
But when I eat Taco Bell, I do not feel that way.
I don't know. But the thing about Taco Bell is, to be honest, everything kind of tastes the same, but it's all good.
Yeah, it is. So as far as being a chef and your career, and you've had a pretty long one so far, where do you see yourself going with it, in the next few years?
Any
goals?
Right now, I'm still in the managerial stage. I got friends that keep saying, oh, you should open a food truck. You should open a food truck, because I guess that's the big, trend right now. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind staying in the managerial side of it, kind of, guiding people. I love teaching people that are newer or younger, different aspects of it to help them grow and kind of passing my little bit of knowledge along. I think that, it's helpful to younger chefs to have somebody that is willing to take the time and kind of show them the ropes and kind of, instill in them some of the mistakes you might have made early in your career to kind of help them out,
That's where you should get on YouTube.
Yeah. But I've been getting that too. My boys are like, yo, what you doing, man? Get a YouTube channel. What you doing, man?
You could have two of them going, or you could do a multi-purpose one with the fragrances.
Look, that's a big community too, the chef community.
I know
a lot of those groups too, and and I find like the fragrance community too, it's a supportive group of people because they're the only ones that understand what you go through as far as a day-to-day grind, you know.
Yeah.
So those are helpful too.
I don't know if you've watched any of my interviews I've done with the big content creators, such as Justin, and I did Steve from Kingdom Fragrance. And,
I saw all of them.
And I did Ross, and I've asked every single one of them if they think it's worth doing YouTube videos in a market that quote unquote may be saturated, and every single one of them have said yes.
Sure.
Just for the simple fact of, who cares if it gets you the attention or gets you to like, although you'd be lying to yourself if you didn't engage those things. Right. But if it's something you love to do and it's making you feel good, then I feel like it's definitely something people should do if it makes them feel good, especially in a time like this. These crazy times we're in. And man, people are clamoring. Part it was, I fixed my car. I can't remember. I think I put on my starter or something like that. And I didn't know how to do it. And my wife and I got on YouTube and we watched the video, and I got underneath the car and I put the starter on. I've never done that in my life, but I didn't have the money for the mechanic. It's just people are clamoring for stuff like this. Like they can just go online and learn. And, we'll probably watch you cook and teach them how to do it and how to manage it. You could probably do videos on how to decant, because I bet you there's a lot of people who don't even know how to do that. But anyway, if it's got to be something you would want to do that makes you happy, not because everybody else wants you to do it.
Well, and I think a lot of it too is if you're generous with your time and your knowledge, then you're also probably generous in your willingness to share that with others, like what you know. I think that to teach, just like a school teacher, like you have to have a passion for teaching people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
That kind of has to be part of, your overall, flow is like, hey, I want to show you how to do this,
Because if the passion's not there, it'll come through.
Right, exactly. And that's why, there are a lot of, the YouTube creators, the content creators, like a lot of them, you can see that they're passionate with it and they want to help you, like, and show you, hey, this smells like this has these notes. If you like this, you'll like this. It's not because they want to brag or show what they know, it's because they want to help you find something that you like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's a great thing.
So like you were saying, it was the challenge for me to challenge my kids. But then I got surprised and shocked that there was a couple, when I turned around, there was a couple people following, and I was like, that shocked me. So I was like, now how can I add value to them? It can't just be just because I like something. I've got to also add value. So I was just wrapping my brain about something I could do to connect the dots, connect the community, to make it smaller and hopefully inspire. And that's why I came up with a friend's help, actually, the interview idea. I really wanted to interview the big guys, the little guys, and I hate using that word. I don't mean that, but you know what I mean as far as followers, big creators, little creators, so we could bridge the gap. And I was hoping that would be the way that I could add value through inspiration. Because you know what, if I find somebody, he drives a truck and he's a mechanic and he's into fragrances, cool, that's good, I feel good. And this guy's a chef and he likes hip hop and he's by all accounts looks like he's a guy who can handle himself and he loves fragrances. Man, I can love fragrances too. And just inspire people, and that's what I wanted to do. And the internet helps do that. It helps bring us closer together. It has its bad points, but I choose to look at the good stuff.
You get your people that are negative and got not so great things to say, but you just brush that off and you keep.
It's a reflection on them. Not
absolutely. But that's one of the things too. Like I feel like with being part of the community and starting the decant business, you grow relationships. I've had guys that order stuff from me multiple times. Yo, Mo, what you got this week? Yo, send me some of this. Yo, I'm gonna take you up on that deal you posted, whatever. And you start to know them. You're like, oh yeah, I know my boy Mark in Colorado, my boy Tyler in Texas. Like, you start knowing the people, where they're from, who they are. And sometimes they'll reach out to you on something that has nothing to do with making a purchase or a fragrance. They might just be like, hey man, I saw this picture you posted, you look kind of tired, or you cool, like everything good, and then you start talking about life and this and that. And it's not just about, a perfume, you know what I mean?
Bingo.
And that's a cool thing. That's a positive thing. And like you said, we're in a time where there's so much negativity, there's so much people are so downtrodden and just don't have nothing good to say. And it's like, when you could put yourself around things that are positive, like, yo, why not? You know what I mean? I think that's a good thing.
If the fragrance is the one thing that we can unite over, I'm all for it.
Yeah, man, it's better than something else. It's better than, something negative. Smelling good is not bad. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. Getting compliments is not bad, although some people will tell you it is. But
yeah, hey, listen, it's all part of it. Some people might not like what you got on, but if you like it, then rock it. That's what I always say.
Who's your favorite YouTuber? Who do you like?
I definitely like you. I stumbled onto Jeremy. I found him entertaining. When I first found him. But I definitely, I have to say probably Ross. All
right.
I think Ross, he's someone I relate to just because of how he approaches it. Another guy I like too is Steven from Red Adolescence.
Yeah, that's my man.
Justin is cool. I like Darian, the bow tie fragrance guy. I enjoy his content. There's a Max Forte. He's got a ridiculous collection and a wealth of knowledge. So there's a lot of different guys. I enjoy watching your channel. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of guys that put out some good content. Some ladies too, like Andrea, Curly Fragrance, and
I love the ladies. I love Demi.
I mean, Demi's one of the biggest ones out there. So I watch everybody, man. I mean, I feel like you could learn a little bit from everyone, because everyone has their own way to approach it, and the things that they like about fragrance is not all the same. So when you get a little bit of what appeals to them, then you could kind of find your way in the journey, I guess, as they put it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm looking to beautify up my channel a little bit and get some ladies on. Hopefully I can get some on real soon.
It's not all about beauty, man. It's all about what you bring in,
Exactly. I know. You know what I mean by that.
I feel you.
How did you is it just because you had too many fragrances and that's what started you on doing the decant thing, or what prompted you to do that or inspired you?
Yeah, so like I said, I had so many bottles. I was able to I found that you can purchase the empty atomizers. So I just started giving them out to people that I knew. And then there are a lot of fragrance groups like on Reddit and Facebook that allow swaps or just person to person private sales, which is still where I predominantly do most of my sales, or in those kind of groups. But yeah, when I was like, people will buy the perfume if I put it in a little bottle like that. And then I saw, what people were charging, and I kind of tried to did the math based on what I paid for the bottle. I was like, man, that seems kind of expensive what they're charging. So I kind of just try to base it a little bit on, what I paid, and I just put together lists, and little by little, I just kept pumping them out, being diligent. And basically when I started to get more orders, more consistently, I reinvested that money into, getting more. And of course I put up tons of my own money to kind of build a collection, because once I knew I was going to start doing this and trying to pursue, selling, decants or samples, I was like, well, I can't just have a few. Like, I got to offer people a variety, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And, I kind of started like with the cheaper fragrances because they were easier for me to acquire. And then, I kind of went up in the price range. I don't have many niche, but, I kind of keep my sweet spot within the $40 to $70 range, which in the long run, when somebody buys a sample of a bottle that costs that, at the end of the day, it's still going to save them some money, You buy even the $20 bottles, I'll be honest, because somebody will say, oh, well, I just bought this bottle because it was $20. Well, you do that 10 times and you just spend $200, you know what I mean? So, and that's something that happens a lot. I see it all the time. Hey, I'm bundling these because I bought them and I really don't like them, so I want to sell them. And, so I figured with the decant thing, if I can kind of, everybody can spend their money how they want, but if I can give you the option of like, hey, try a few of these, send me $20-$30, maybe save yourself $300 in the long run. Well, I figure it's a good option to give people. And I think people have been really appreciative and responsive to it too.
Tell
So,
the folks the name of your decant company.
it's called ChefCants.
Where can we find
It's a
you?
very simple combination of the word chef and decant. That's it. That's how I came up with that. The chef's decant.
Where can they find you?
So they can, you can find me on, Facebook. Just search ChefCants. That should be the first one that pops up. ChefCants.
I'll put a link in the description for everybody.
All right, cool. Yeah. Also on Instagram, same thing, ChefCants. TikTok, ChefCants channel. And I also have a website, it's chefcants.business.site. And that's just a free Google website that I put together. Very simple, easy to navigate. But, I got pictures, reviews, testimonials, lists. And, you could kind of see, I got videos. I think one of the first videos that you did with some of the decants I sent you, I have on my website and stuff like that. Yep, there they go. Those are the ones I sent you a while back.
Yep. Right here.
Yep. So I have them. I have that linked on my Instagram as well. A couple other YouTubers that were supportive, just like you were in the beginning, I have on there too. So it's kind of like you said, it's linking it all together, connecting the dots. He reviewed Mo, Scott reviewed Mo. Okay, Mo got Scott's page. You got this guy, and it kind of links everybody all together. And,
I love the strips that you include. That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
I love how well they're packaged, because a lot of people just throw stuff in a box.
Yeah,
they're packaged so tightly.
Throwing them in an envelope and sending them in an envelope. No lie, I've seen guys do that.
I know. I've received from companies, and they're so, you got them so wound tight, and they're covered in the bubble wrap, and they always come so quick. And when the moment you inbox me and tell me they're coming, it's like they're here like that. And
couple days,
it takes me forever to get them. If that was a complaint, which it's not, because I'm glad they're protected. It takes forever to get them out of that bubble wrap. They're in there so good.
Yeah, but you just never know. I mean, postal service, I know. Hits the wall, falls on the floor. You just want to be careful. Yeah. And with the strips, when I first started, I would buy decants off of others just to kind of see how they came. And like you said, they use a lot of times they just wrap real quick and it's kind of thrown in the envelope and kind of treated as like an afterthought. Yeah. But my whole thing is if you're going to reach out to me and spend your money, the idea is that you want to sample the fragrance, right? You want to smell it, you want to test it, So the strips, if you have something on when you open it, and you still want to get, what it smells like, the strip is a big help, So I figured, it's a simple thing. I mean, it's only cardstock paper that I cut with scissors, but hey, I mean, a lot of people use them and I
appreciate it. It's great for those content creators who don't want to have 100 fragrances on one wrist.
I see Ross do it all the time. He's like, well, I got stuff on my arm, so I'm gonna just spray these tester strips. It happened. And then, at the same time, it's like you talked about earlier, the details, right? Like if a sign looks messed up and something doesn't look good. Yeah. It's like, well, if I send you some decants that look like trash, then, why would you ever reach out to me again? Or, why should I put my time and effort into doing this for you if I'm gonna present it to you in a poor manner? You know what I mean? And make it look nice. Do it the right way. Try to, the devil's in the details. The little things make a big difference, man. So.
Yeah, so I was one of the questions I was going to ask you, which you've already covered it a little bit. I was just going to ask you what separates your decanting business from others, but we've already talked about, the price, and we've talked about the details, and I can definitely say that is what separates you from firsthand experience. What separates you from the others?
Yeah, I try to treat it like a business. It's a hobby, but I try to be professional. I put my business card in there with my contact information. I recently just got coupons made up with a lot of information. Yeah, it's like a $5 off coupon if you spend 40. And I put it in the groups and some people laughed about it. But when I send it to people, you know what they say? Yo, that's cool, man. Next order now, I know I spent 40 and you give me a few bucks off. Like, it's just, it's just the thought, it's kind of just, and then one thing I do too is I try to bundle things and, sell in volume. So that makes people more enticed to buy and get more for their money. And I'm cool with that, and I like when I send somebody a fragrance. I know I don't make it. I just put it in a bottle, but, I help somebody find something they like. And to me, that's a good thing. Like I've
Yeah,
had a
there's
good friend of mine order 3 different fragrances, full bottles of decants that I've given him or that he's bought from me, you know. And to me, that's cool. I'm like, yo, I helped my boy find 3, you know, 3 fragrances that he liked that he was willing to buy a full bottle of. Like, to me, that's the whole goal of it. You know what I mean?
Mhm. For me, it's like, you know, none of us, and I mean none of us, if we're in the market for a car, none of us are just going on the lot and jumping in and taking off.
Yeah,
We're
just give me
taking it
that
for a
one and I'm out.
spin.
Yeah.
Take it for a spin. You're kicking the tires. You're talking to the guy. You're doing your homework. So these fragrances, for some people, you know, they can be an investment. They can be, you know, you have responsibilities. You've got a family.
Absolutely.
Your service is a great way to kick the tires, to take it for a spin before you go ahead and spend $70 to $100 in the store. I know you can get a little bit cheaper, you know, on the gray market online, but it's still a great way to kick the tires to make sure that you don't want to blind buy something. I bought something based on Jeremy's, you know, recommendation, and I got it. I'll tell you one. Okay, I hate Prada L'Homme. I have a full bottle of Prada L'Homme. I absolutely do not like it. I hate it. It's just not for me. To each his own. And now I'm stuck with it because I blind bought it.
Because you blind bought it. And that's not a cheap one. I mean, even on the gray market, that's probably like $40-$50 area.
It's not cheap at all.
And that's and look, at the end of the day, is $40 or $50 a lot? Meh. But on a fragrance that's just gonna sit on your drawer and you're not gonna do anything with it, $40 is probably, you know, you could have did something. You could have bought another fragrance or put it towards another fragrance. And again, like I said, even like the cheaper stuff that I decant, okay, yeah, the bottle might cost you only $35-$40. But if you do enough blind buys, the numbers just add up. You know what I mean? So if you could save yourself that issue of having something that you're not gonna like because you just felt like buying it on the whim. Again, impulse buying is part of the fun. I know blind buying is a fun thing. I just try to provide an option like, hey, I have this, it's, you know, it's popular. That's where the YouTube reviewers come in. I kind of see what they talk about. You know, I check the group, see what kind of fragrances guys are looking for, and I try to keep those in stock. You know what I mean? And, you know, again, if I could help people save a couple of bucks or save having, you know, 300 bottles like me downstairs, you know, then maybe, you know, that's a good thing. That means I'm doing something right.
Do you think it was worth starting the business in today's market?
Yeah, you know, I know a lot of people are out of work now. You know, times are tough for some people, which is why when I do get orders, I'm grateful because I know, you know, sometimes for people to let go of a few dollars could be, like you said, you know, a big expense or something like that. But, you know, for me, it's all a learning experience still, you know, starting my own business venture, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, seeing what fragrances that I have move or seeing what's just dead inventory. You know, it's just all been a learning process, and whatever knowledge I can garner from doing it, you know, I feel like I could only use it going forward, you know, whether it's something fragrance related or fragrance business related, or, you know, in my culinary career or any business I try to go, you know, forward with in the future, you know. I definitely think that I think it was worth it for me. And there's a lot of people out there that say it was worth it for them too, because I know, you know, shout out to my boy Mark. I was talking to him, Marco in Colorado. He was like, man, you know, I did the math, and he was like, the amount of decants you sent me compared to what I actually liked was probably like 3 out of 10. Which means out of those 10 bottles that I was interested in, if I bought all 10 of them, I would have only like 3. That's, you know, that like, wow, you saved me tons of money. And so for me in that regard, yeah, hearing things like that makes it worth it for me, because I know that I'm helping people out. And I think that you have to have that disposition about you to want to help people. I mean, I've always was taught, if you can help someone, do it. If you can be kind, do it. If you can be generous, if you can share, you should, if you're in the position to. So I feel like this business, even though, I run it as a business, I sell decants, but I also feel like, you know, I'm giving the people the ability to save money. And I think in this time it's probably a good thing, you know.
And you're making the relationships too, like you were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
What advice would you give to somebody who's wanting to start a business right now? Would you you have any advice you would offer them? One piece of advice?
I think you know, there's a quote that says, when any business is built out of necessity, right? So if you're gonna start up anything, you got to make sure there's a need for it, or else it's not gonna really work out, you know. For me, I noticed, like, you know, when I started a decanting business, it was because a lot of the scents that I still carry weren't stuff that you could find decants of. You know, got a lot of guys that decant will only touch niche, and they you know, hold their nose up to anything designer, you know, or they don't touch cheaper fragrances, or some of the fragrances you can't go to your local fragrance store, Macy's, whatever, and get a sample of. So offering, you know, some different type of fragrances, you know, there was a need for guys who wanted to sample them to get their hands on them. So, you know, I was able to kind of maneuver my way into meeting that need for certain people. So I think to anybody that's looking to start any kind of business in any field, is kind of, you know, do your homework, you know what your market is, who you're trying to target, and if it's something that you feel fills a need or a void for your target group, then go for it, man. You know, go for the gusto.
So it's a risk, right?
It's a risk. You like you said, what you're doing. You know, you got to make yourself uncomfortable, and you got to learn on the fly, and you gotta go for it. You know, I'm a big fan of Gordon Ramsay. You know what I mean? And he says you got to, in order to get somewhere that you've never been, you got to do things that you've never done. You got to make yourself uncomfortable. You know, it's just like a job. You can get complacent in your same 9 to 5 and get comfortable and know you can go in at this time and you'll be out by that time. But sometimes you got to mix it up. You know, sometimes you got to challenge yourself in order to you know, to prosper. So
yeah, I feel like I could be wrong about this, but I feel like most of the reward, whatever you're doing, is on the way there, not once you get to the top.
Absolutely.
Because once you get to the top, the stress gets real and everybody wants to knock you off. So enjoy the journey.
Hey, yeah, you're 100% right, man. And that's where you're going to learn. You're going to learn getting the bumps and the scrapes and making the mistakes and, you know, forgetting, you know, things here and there, or making errors, or, I mean, but that's how you learn. It's just like life, you know, you're going to make mistakes along the way. But hopefully when you get to a point where you're comfortable, you know, you put whatever you learn to pretty good use. So, and pass it along.
All right. Ready for the hard questions? The hard-hitting journalistic questions. You ready?
Sure. Let's see what you got.
What is your favorite designer house?
My favorite designer? I got to go with Mont Blanc, man. Bang for the buck.
I love Mont Blanc.
I'm a fan. You know, the new Legend EDP is good stuff. Like I said, Individual is one that, you know,
do you have Presence?
I have Presence.
I gotta buy one of those from you.
Yeah, it's good. It's a lot of cinnamon.
I haven't tried it yet.
It's nice. And this one you could find affordably, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, Legend Spirit, like I said, is a great one. A lot of people like Explorer because it smells like this popular fragrance. I don't know if you heard of it. It's called Creed Aventus. It kind of smells like that one a little bit.
Yeah.
But no,
they're pretty much Mont Blanc is pretty much an inspiration house.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think for what you can get stuff from them, I think it's a good house, you know.
Yes, I do too.
Everything I think is pretty solid. But my all-time favorite fragrance, if somebody was like, yo, I'm taking all these fragrances and you can only stay with one, be honest, it sounds crazy, but it'll be Cool Water. Davidoff Cool Water. Yep. I mean, I remember being 13 years old and that frag blew my mind and I'll never forget it. And so that's one I always keep. That's one. And
if my house is burning down, I'm running out with my signature Pour Homme by Zaharoff.
Well, no one's taking that. I don't have a bottle. I do have a sample. So if I do, then that might change. But yeah, right now it's Cool Water, 100%. But that stuff is phenomenal.
I love it. Yeah. All right. So do you have a favorite niche that you like?
You know, I have some. You know, I have some Creed Aventus. Mancera. You know, I have.
That's a good niche house.
I have a really nice one called Winwood. That's a nice woody vetiver heavy scent, real, but it's crisp up top. It's a nice one. That's probably one of my favorite niche scents that I have to say.
Have you tried the Triumph of Bacchus by Argos?
No, I heard good things about Argos. I haven't really smelled anything from them. I do have like some Amouages, some Roja. Okay. So I gotta kind of expand that, that part of it. I also want to get more into women's fragrances too, like marketed for women.
I need to do that too on my channel.
I think that will help me a lot. Plus, it'll help me build, what I'm trying to do as well.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and you already mentioned it to me. You always seem to like. I have all these questions, and I have to scrap them because you'll end up mentioning my questions and when you're talking. But I was going to ask you what's your favorite fragrance in your collection. It was literally my next one, but I know now, so I don't have to ask you that.
There you go. No, all good.
What's the one thing people would be surprised to know about you? I already got surprised when you told me you're into the hip hop scene and that you were doing hip hop.
I did that for a long time.
I can see you doing. I love it when they call me Big Pop.
Oh yeah. It's something I did. It's something I was passionate because I grew up in the '90s in New York, New Jersey. So that was a music that kind of spoke to that generation.
But you love Biggie then.
I love Biggie, Big Pun. My favorite rapper is Nas, though. That's my favorite rapper of all time.
Nas, okay.
Nas, okay. Yeah. I was happy to see him win a Grammy. But something that I'm into like Star Wars and comic books. I don't know, somebody you would see into hip hop, probably not into that so much, but I'm into Star Wars. I'm into the Marvel universe and all that.
Yeah, no, I'm there with you.
I'm a huge fan of stand-up comedy.
Are you? Okay.
I watch anybody. If anybody got jokes, I like to laugh. So if they got some jokes, I'll give them a chance. You know what I mean? So,
do you remember Mitch Hedberg?
Yes.
I love that guy.
Yeah, that guy. That guy was crazy, man.
I love it.
He had a heck of a drug problem, unfortunately.
I know.
But he was a funny dude, man. Yeah, absolutely.
He said one of my favorite jokes by him, and I'm not going to tell it right, is when he said he was walking through New York City. He said, I was walking through New York City and somebody handed me a pamphlet. And he said, I thought to myself, here's the guy who wants me to throw his trash away. I love that guy.
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Carlito's Way.
Okay.
With Al Pacino. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know why his character always reminded me of like people I grew up with, like my uncles and my dad. His persona, I related to it. So, and it's a good movie. I mean, it's underrated. I think one of Al Pacino's most underrated movies.
When I name one, I don't just have one. I mean, I have probably like 5 that are in the top 5, but I usually mention Gladiator. That's probably one of my all-time favorites. And I'm a big fan of the movie Inception. But,
that's a good one, yeah.
There's a few. I'm a big fan of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight series and so on and so forth. Hey, come here, bud. Come here. You can say hi. This is my son, Adam. Say hey.
Hey, Adam.
What's up? That's Chef Mo. He's the one that sends me these and he sells these online. So that's him. Say hey.
Hi.
Nice shirt, man. I like Ninja Turtles too.
You like Ninja Turtles? Yeah. He's all into Grogu, Baby Yoda. He's all about that right now.
That thing, boy, that thing blew up the world when he came out, man.
Yeah.
So I got you.
All right, and so who is your favorite musical group or favorite act? Who's the all-time? You said Nas?
I said Nas. I gotta go with Nas probably.
Okay.
I do like a lot of rock music. I mean, I like the Beatles and those kind of bands kind of like that as well. I'm a very huge Kelly Clarkson fan.
Are you really?
I do like Kelly Clarkson. Okay. There goes a surprise for you.
There you go.
I think she could sing, man. She's good.
Oh yeah.
So, man. I mean, with music, my taste is eclectic. I kind of go with the mood. I like old Spanish salsa. I kind of go with whatever I feel like listening to that day. Even if it's top 40, doesn't matter. Like I kind of go with whatever my mood is.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can listen to Miles Davis and jazz and. I've just recently, I've always respected Elvis for what he did, but I never gave them a shot. And I've been like binge watching all kinds of Elvis stuff lately. So I've really been,
man.
Oh my goodness.
He's talented,
And
bro.
I just keep thinking God knew what he was doing when he didn't make me look like him, because I would have been dangerous.
Yeah, Fools Rush In. What was that? I can't help falling in love. That's a beautiful song Elvis sang, man. I mean, listen, talented guy, man. Unfortunately, too, with him, the drugs catch up.
Yeah, only the good die young, they say, I guess.
Yes, sir.
But no, I've got a bunch of favorite groups. But all right, and any big things coming for you, and what you're doing in 2021 that you want to talk about, or just business as usual, just keeping up with the grind and
just grinding. Work is crazy, busy, trying to figure that out. And with the decanting business, I'm just gonna trying to keep growing my client base. Sending people out those frags, growing my lists. Switching up my promotions, just trying to get creative and really expand, on what I'm offering. Like I said, maybe getting more into niche fragrances, definitely learning more about the fragrances marketed for women. So kind of just expanding my knowledge.
I know that niche stuff will open up a whole new world, because I think a lot of people in their heads have this idea that, because of the gray market, fragrances aren't, as expensive as they could be. Say, Chanel's like $100 in the store and you can get it for 60, which is still expensive. Right. But like I said, you still want to spend the prices that you're charging to kick around the tires. Sure. But I think the ones that are hard for people are, those niche fragrances where they don't, even the decants, they try to up the price based on
the
how
per
expensive.
mil price is high.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think when you find a good company, and that's the other thing, is that people get nervous is because I've had people say it to me when I'm talking to them in direct messaging, like, man, I hope this is the real thing. I hope they sent me
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If they order Creed Aventus, like, how do they know that someone's not spraying Explorer in their decant?
Telling them it's Creed Aventus. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's the one thing.
I think that comes, on my end is just, if I'm buying it from somebody, I would want to trust that they're selling me the right thing. So on my end, I'm only going to sell you something that's legit, but that's definitely a concern for a lot of people. And it's a trust issue, for me, being somebody new to doing it, to gain customers, you got to gain their trust first. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and that's a big first step.
I think it's good for you to be on Instagram, and I'm just talking here. I'm not this. I think it's good for you to be on Instagram, because if you post the photos of your bottles like everyone else does, then they know you've got the bottles, and that can help you.
Yeah, I do that a lot too. I take wide shots of my collection, orders that I sent, testimonials, all in the effort to show people, hey, look, man,
transparency.
I'm doing legit stuff. Yeah, it's all about being transparent. I got nothing to hide. I'm just trying to be just an honest guy trying to hustle in America, man. That's
nothing wrong with that. Well, man, listen, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much, man. Every time I do this, I just feel so good about it. I feel 10 foot tall because I get to learn about other people and just meet really cool people in this business. And absolutely, and I love it so much. And I really appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you too, man. Like I said, I reached out to you initially a while back because I was like, I saw you on, I think it was like right when you joined Instagram, and I was like, this guy got something, man, and it's working out good for both of us. And, I appreciate you too. Likewise, you seem like a genuine guy, family guy who just likes fragrances, man. And there's nothing but respect, man.
God bless you and your service. I appreciate it, man.
Same to you. Bless you and the fam, man. Thanks a lot.